sometimes when my wife is like in the in the studio with me, she'll walk in the studio or whatever, and like I'm just zoning out while your joint is going or whatever, and she's trying to get my attention or whatever because she can't talk to me. She can't, like, be in there when, like, I'm live and I'm talking, so she hear the music playing. It's like, all right, I can get attention, ask her something, and I'm just bobbing my head and shit or whatever, man. What was the inspiration behind that record, bro?
Well, man, I appreciate that, first off. But it was... Honestly, man, it was my attempt at being transparent, right? So I felt like right now, and even at that time, the hip-hop community, when we hear relationships or songs that are centered around relationships, is generally, you did me wrong, I did you wrong, I'm sorry, get away from me, It's generally negative energy. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's purposeful, but to me, that's what I see from songs nowadays in hip hop. So what I attempted to do with that one was show something positive, man. I wanted to show a dude courting a chick. I wanted to show a dude actually being emotional and showing his emotions for a chick and actually presenting her on a higher level in a sense. So that's what my attempts was with that, man. And I reached out to my homie Swift, and he helped me bring it to life, man. So that's how that it was.
Indeed, man. And I'm glad you shared that with us. You're now working with LaShawn Jones, Creative Jones Media. Just talk about that relationship a little bit.
Man, that's a relationship that's actually it's developed over years, man. I've known Sean for maybe 7, 8 years, and throughout this time, I've watched him develop into the person he is today, and he's watched me develop as an artist into what I am today. And so, because he has so much insight and experience in the community or in the industry I'm trying to get into, I've always, came to him for advice or, like consultation. And he's always been cool with that, although we were cool personally. It started like that. And, like minds, man, we go far together. And so it only made sense that when he began to manage artists again, that I approached him with the opportunity. Actually, it was more of a mutual thing. But yeah, he's always been there. It's just we've made it official within this last year, man. And so I'm definitely excited about that. What he brings to the table is priceless. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that materialize. Yeah, man.
Word. You just released a new project. What's the name of the project? And talk about like the creative process and putting, because I'm not an artist, so I don't want to say, it's easy to just do one song. So let's say it's easier to do one song. But when you're putting together a project, whether it's 5, 10 songs, it's got to have a type of cohesiveness to it or whatever. So just talk about the creative process and putting together your current project.
All right. Well, the project I put out on March 17th, it's called The Show. And so it's out right now. Currently, we're doing great, man. I have over 25,000 streams across the board so far. So my supporters are going hard, and I appreciate that. But it's 5 songs. It's an EP, so it's 5 songs. It's about 18 minutes in total. So it's actually one of the shorter projects that I've put out. But my plan this year is to put out 3 projects like that, a project every 3 to 4 months, 4 to 5 records. I'm going to have visuals for every joint. And so right now that's where we are. The inspiration for this is actually crazy because this project is the first time I'm trying to implement new things into my music. Like I'm trying to implement more melodies and more things that are current in today's type of hip hop with what I do. So I'm stepping out there and I'm experimenting a little bit, and it actually came out great, man. And so this project I'm super excited to give to my fans and my supporters because it's me in my essence, and it's like a raw me, and so I'm definitely excited about it.
When I talked to Sean about Unfriendly, I just talked to him about like every artist has like their niche. You know, some artists, they might not be viewed lyrically, but the way they put the melody together, it makes for an incredible song. And then some might be,
right,
you know, lyrical and might lack this, and some might put it all together. With you, man, like your flow, man, like, and I told him, I said, yo, bro is spitting shit. Like, do you, like, are you writing, and I ain't trying to get into, like, do you go off the top or whatever, but, like, is this something to, like, when you hear the beat, everything just come together, or do you already have the rhymes, and then you're looking for a beat for it to match? Like, for example, Unfriendly. How did that record come together?
So honestly, I write. I take pride in writing. Actually, I think that's one of my strongest aspects of my artist is my ability to write. I'm solid with that pen, so I'm going to deliver every time because that's just how I do in terms of, you know, getting it out. I'm a writer. I'm a very strong writer. But with Unfriendly, you know, specifically, that was all emotion, all mood. I wrote that song in maybe 15 minutes, and it's crazy how it came about, like, because I got a homie who just hit me on Facebook, was like, yo, bro, what's your email? I want to send you some beats. So he sent me a pack, maybe 6 beats. That was the second one I listened to. I stopped listening after that because I had the song. I sent him the song. Basically, I sent him the whole Unfriendly song 10 minutes after he emailed me the beats because it was so raw. I was going through something at the time, and it came out, you know, just like that. Like I said, I wrote that song maybe 10, 15 minutes, and I got it back to him in a little video chat, just giving him the idea I had, not knowing that was going to be the whole song. So I think it was everything you heard except maybe 4 bars. Everything else was done within 10 minutes of him getting me the beat. And so that one, it just vibed out, and I have those moments, and those are usually very dope joints because they're so raw, and the emotion in them is so transparent. So a lot of people, you know, it's easy to gravitate to them because you can relate a lot of times to those emotions. But I have other joints that I take my time with or I allow to write themselves. You know, if it doesn't come to me as easy as Unfriendly do, I let it come to me. You know what I mean? And generally, hold up.
Let me cut you off.
Yeah.
What he's saying, guys, is he don't force the music, man, and he don't just force it and just try to get it done like it's a homework assignment or something. He got to turn it in the next day. This is music. He let it come naturally. Okay, go on, young man. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's real right there. But with that, you got to understand because music is in me, right? So it's the rap is how I choose to get my thoughts and my emotions out through rap. I write actually music for all, you know, other people as well. I've written music for other people. So the music is just in me. So it's easy for me to connect with the things it takes for me to get this out of me. So back to a question you asked a couple questions ago is, you know, how do the music come about? It just comes, and so I'm a believer of record. So I have a lot of songs. Even with this, I maybe recorded 25 songs and I only put out 5. And so I have music, and that's just how I was taught to do. I was taught to record a lot and make sure you're meticulous with what you put out so every joint bangs. And so the joints I got that I didn't make, I'll probably put out a mixtape, or you'll probably hear them come on other people's mixtapes and joints, because they still dope. It was just these 5 were a very good representation of what I was trying to do with my sound and where I was trying to go, or what I was trying to develop as my sound.
Indeed. Now your name is R.O. Hutch, and R.O. is Raleigh's Own. Do you feel any pressure that, like, pressure me? Like, do you feel like, you know, some artists is like, yo, like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? You know, Raleigh's own, like he repping the whole city. You know, like he the one. Like, have you gotten that kind of energy from anybody?
If I have, it hasn't been expressed in front of me. Because that's just real. People, I think because I give a dope product and I'm so passionate about what I do that it's okay to say, for most people, he's a representation of me because I try to go hard every time. Like, I don't take no breaks with the music. Every bar, and you can go back to all the joints. I try to go as hard as I can every time. So it's never a question of him slacking or something like that. So people usually, they're usually okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I get maybe some other artists, you know, some side eyes. But again, it's never been expressed. It's never been expressed yet. Nah, man, because I'm ready for all that.
Yeah. I can dig it, man. And I ain't trying to be no negativity if it isn't any. I was just curious.
No, that's real. That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Who are some of, like, the people you listen to? Who are you fans of?
Right now, I'm listening to Lil Baby. I'm listening to Da Baby. I'm listening to Tory Lanez. I like music that takes me, you know, takes me places or reminds me of things. Music that I can connect to. I like creativity. So, you know, it's a lot of dope artists out there. I generally gravitate to things that are consistent with what I'm going through at the time. So, you know, it varies from time to time. You know, in terms of my favorite or my go-tos, it's the GOATs, you know, Jay-Z. I fuck with Drake hard. You know, J. Cole, Ari Lennox on some other, you know, so I like Megan Thee Stallion. So, you know, dope artists.
Okay. It seemed like it's getting cooler, like for like coworkers and, you know, associates to kind of support their friends that are doing things outside the box. You know, and I'll give you an example. You know, a couple of my former coworkers happened to listen to my show, and I came to work, you know, a few days later, and it's like, yo, Scott, yo, it's the playlist, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, all right, word, dope. You know, that's what's good. And do you get people who, because I like for people to discover me, if you know what I mean. You know, like if they catch me talking to somebody else and they ask a question, I'll answer it. And, you know, and some people say, well, that's not really good or whatever, but I'm also, you know, conscious of whose time I'm on. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I'm, you know, Skyland Hagen's the chef. You know, so I can't be living my other life, you know, on somebody else's dime. So I like for people to discover, because I feel like if they just happen to like be eavesdropping or whatever, then they're blown away by the product that they witness. Have you had somebody that come to you like, yo, I never even knew you rap. Why you ain't tell me? And, you know, tell me about that story, because I know it's happened.
Yeah, definitely, man. But it's crazy because when you were describing you, that's exactly how I am. In my profession, it's not a lot of men, period. Then there's not a lot of black men. Then there's not a lot of young black men from where I'm from who has the demeanor I have. So I don't complicate that by telling everybody I rap. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I present myself very professional as I'm supposed to on someone else's dime. You know what I mean? So I agree with you completely with that. That's my perspective. So because I know I'm kind of going against the grain with what I do and how, you know, where I'm at, I always present myself accordingly, and I try to exceed expectations just as a representation of a black man. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I handle that. So I don't bring that to my job or my profession. However, I let them discover me. And because I'm so busy, generally video shoots and